Okay, so then there's story problems, and here's the story problems you should know. Okay, an object is thrown upward from a height of 15 feet with a velocity of 35 feet per second. How long does it take the object to reach a height of 0 feet? So down here you can see the copy machine cut it off. That says seconds. So if I'm just finding one unit, I need to draw these three boxes to kind of help me out. Okay, so I've got feet and seconds. Seconds is 1 unit, and x is seconds, y is feet. So per feet per second is 35. And it goes in a parabola. Don't put anything on the parabola. You just know you need kind of a big box. And then the gravity formula. So gravity is negative 16x to the second power plus 35 with x plus, and we started with 15 feet, so we got to add 15 before I put equals y. Now take the last number in the problem, 0 feet. Okay, 0 feet, and feet is y, so it's going in for the y letter, so I can just scribble out the y and put 0. And that leaves me with x, so I follow my procedure. So how many answers? There's 2. What do you have for x's? You have x to the second, obviously, and you also got x to first. So you're going to need to go down this route with the factoring. So equals 0, we have it. Count the terms. We got 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 terms. Okay. So I make my GCF. And then my T box, okay? So GCF, do I have a negative in front? I do. Do I have X on everything? I don't, okay? And then I go 6, 35, and 15, okay? And that gives me 1, okay? So negative 1, but when it's negative 1, you actually have to do it, okay? So that gives you positive 16 with x to the second. That's negative 35 with x, and that's negative 15. So I ABC that, and I take A times C. So I take positive 16 times negative 15. I got negative 240. So difference of 35. If I get a number in the hundreds, I'm going to write fail because I don't want to do the T-chart. It takes too long. So I'm going to use my quadratic formula. So opposite of B, opposite of B. So the opposite of negative 35 is 35 plus or minus the square root B squared, so parentheses with a second power and then a minus, and then 3 parentheses in a row. And then I put my B, now it's negative 35, and then 4, and A is 16, and C is negative 15, okay? Now on bottom we have 2, and whatever A is, which is 16, okay? So I've got 35, I've got the square root, and then I've got 2 times 16. So I know part of this, okay? I know I got 35, and 2 times 16 is 32. Okay, now the square root can be found on your calculator. You go second, double the, and then x to the second, and then double the parentheses, and then we have negative 35. Close that parentheses, take it to the second, minus, and then a 4, 16, and then negative 15. Okay, I got 46.74. Okay, so you can put that there. If you don't have the good calculator, you got to make 2 square roots. And we'll take negative 35 times itself, and then 4 times 16 times negative 15. So negative 35 times negative 35 is 1,225. Then always put a minus behind it. Then 4 times 16 times negative 15. That gave me negative 960. If you're minusing a negative, you'll go plus, plus. And then I add 1,225 plus 960. That's 2,185. And then I find the square root of that. and I get the same thing I did before, 46.74. Again, if your calculator can get you from here to here, just do that. So I take 35 plus 46.74, hit equals, divide by 32, and that's 2.55. Then I take 35 minus 46.74, hit equals, divide by 32, and that's negative 0.37. Now 2.55 is a much better answer, makes a lot more sense. So there's my seconds. Okay, next problem. An object is thrown upward from a height of 15 feet, velocity of 35 feet. That's supposed to say feet per second. I'm sorry, feet per second. Find the maximum height of the object. Okay, now you're finding the maximum height, so don't do these side boxes. To find the maximum, you just make your parabola and set up an XY coordinate, and we know we find the X using opposite of B divided by 2 times A, and to find the Y, we replace X on the calculator. So we got to get an equation written, and it's gravity again. Okay, so negative 16x to the second plus my feet per second, so 35 with x. Now before equals, you got to add anything else you have to start with. You had 15, so plus 15 equals y. Okay, so there's no parentheses, so I have my a and I have my b, so I go up here. Opposite of the b would be negative 35. And then I take 2 times whatever a is, which is negative 16. 2 times negative 16 is negative 32, and then I divide. Negative 35 divided by negative 32, top by bottom. So I got 1.09. Okay, now to find the y, you just replace the x's on the calculator with 1.09. Okay. So I've got negative 16, parentheses 1.09 to the second power, plus 35, parentheses 1.09, and then plus 15. Okay, you got 34.14. Okay, now what these mean, x is your time, so it took 1.09 seconds to reach the highest point of 34.14 feet. So 34.14 is the one you want to put down there as your maximum height. Okay, the last one that I'm going to go over. A video store sells 150 DVDs at a price of $20 each. The owner estimates that for each $1 decrease in price, 25 more DVDs will be sold each week. How many price decreases before the video can maximize revenue, and what will the maximum revenue be? So again, another maximum, so don't make the side boxes. Make your parabola. Making the side boxes will not do any good. It's got to be this, okay? If there's only one unit you're finding, not a maximum, okay, then you do the side boxes, but not with a maximum. So opposite of B divided by 2 times A, and then to find the y, we just replace x on the calculator. Okay, this isn't gravity though, this is revenue, and revenue is equal to the dollars that we're charging times the number of items that we're selling. Each should have its own parentheses. So the revenue is my y, and then I make 2 parentheses, and this is money, and this is items. Okay, now go find your 2 money amounts. You've got $20 and $1. So you start with 20, don't put an X on that because that's your beginning. And then the $1, well, are you adding it or subtracting it? It says decrease, so you would be minusing 1, and you put an X on that because you do it over and over. Okay, now cross these 2 out. And I look for the other numbers, my items. I have 150 to start with. Don't put an X on that. And now if that's minus, then the items I sell is plus. And that's 25 with X. Okay, because that happens over and over. Now, we don't have a B and an A yet because I have parentheses, so I need to multiply it out, okay? And I need to have a x to the second and x, and then a number without x, okay? Because that's my A and that's my B. Now, to multiply this out, you can do your rainbows, but I've actually found, since you can have your phones and computers for the GCF calculator, go to Google search, okay, and type in this phrase, math space PAPA, P-A-P-A, and then algebra calculator pops right up, okay? And then you go to this, and then you just multiply that out. So we want to multiply up parentheses, so hit parentheses, and then 20 minus 1x, close parentheses, and then another parentheses, 150 plus 25x. The reason I find this useful in this problem is because story problems, we want precise answers, and if you make a careless mistake, it's going to be all screwed up. So if you just use this, you'll probably get something that makes sense rather than missing a negative or a positive or a second power somewhere. It's going to give it to you. So negative 25 for x to the second. Then x, I've got 350. And then for the constant, I've got 3,000. Okay, now I come up here because my opposite of 350 is negative 350. And then 2 times negative 25. So I multiply 2 by negative 25, and that's negative 50. I should always have a negative divided by a negative. So I take negative 350 divided by negative 7, and that's 50. And that is negative 350 divided by negative 50, and that's 7. And then replace the x on the calculator with 7, okay? Because y equals that. So negative 25 times 7 to the second power plus 350 times 7 plus 3,000. I got 4,225. Okay, now again, what this means is y is your revenue, so that's how much money, and the x is the number of price changes. So in this case, the price was decreasing, so that would be price decreases. 7 price decreases make my maximum revenue $4,225, but 4,225 is what you want to put down there.